All right, Sydney Sweeney is starting some drama
with her co-star Glen Powell.
Yeah, Powell.
They are filming Anyone But You. I guess it's like an R-rated romance movie. So they are the main characters. They are the love interests.
Oh.
Things are getting hot and steamy on set, and fans have begun theorizing that their on-screen romance is moving on to real life, which wouldn't normally. Which.
Anyways,
which wouldn't normally be a problem. I feel like we see that a lot. We see a lot of actors become
Outer Banks, Riverdale, you name it.
You name it. Every single. I was just going on. Is that true? I don't know.
Yeah. What's her? What's your
Cole.
Jughead. Yeah, Cole Sprouse.
Cole Sprouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only problem is that Sydney Sweeney is engaged to Jonathan Davino, and Glen Powell recently just got broken up with. So he had a girlfriend.
Dating, that model Gigi, right?
Gigi Paris. Yes.
Okay.
I had no idea. She is stunning.
Yeah, she is.
I didn't know who she was until I found out about this, but they just recently broke up, and this is kind of confirming that maybe there's some infidelity going on. I mean, Sydney hasn't spoken up about Jonathan and if they are together or not. She hasn't been seen wearing her ring, but I mean, that doesn't really mean
Someone
much.
said something about how she rarely would wear it anyways, which I'm also like, is that a red flag? But I feel
my theory,
like people get weird about rings. Like, not everyone wears them.
My theory on that is that she probably spends majority of her time filming on set, and she can't wear it on set.
I guess
so why are you going to bring it? Like, just leave it at home.
Am I going to bring it to then just take it off while I'm filming all day and risk it getting stolen, or am I just going to leave it at home? I do agree with that.
So I really don't think that's a red flag. And at the Met Gala this past Monday, she was seen not wearing it, but again, at the same time, I kind of get it, because it doesn't always go with the fit.
But you're newly engaged.
Not super new.
How new? When did they get engaged? Do you know?
I think this past fall.
I just feel like if I'm engaged and I'm about to become a whole wife,
and
I'm at the Met Gala, I'm showing off my bling. The whole vibe was very bling. But is that how
rich she is, that she just does? I mean, she probably was wearing.
It's a sign that she's not wearing her engagement ring to the Met Gala. I do understand recording not wearing it, but not wearing it to the Met Gala, that is the ultimate statement piece. What is more glam and over the top than an engagement ring?
I mean, she looked stunning. Did you see her?
I did like her dress. I didn't like the bow at the bottom. I thought it looked like she had a knee brace on. But other than that, she looked really good. I mean, obviously she's stunning. Yeah, that is interesting.
Did you see the photos
of them?
Of Sydney and Glen?
No, I didn't.
How are you going to cheat on your husband with a guy named Glen? I'm sorry.
I know. So
he's fine looking.
So no one has said anything about whether or not this is true. But why are people speculating?
Okay,
is what I'm wondering.
Okay, they spend a lot of time together when they're not filming, and the photos they post, I'm sorry, they are suspect. They are.
What do you mean?
It's they act like they're a couple. They literally act as if they are way too close. They're way too PDA-ish. They're way too comfortable, touching each other. And I'm not kidding. If you look at any interview or any photo of them, the way that they look at each other, they look like they're in love.
Oh.
It's insane. And the fact that Gigi Paris, Glen's ex-girlfriend, posted on, I think it was Instagram, she posted a photo and captioned it, "Know your worth and on to the next." And then she unfollowed both Glen and Sydney.
Oh, she unfollowed Sydney?
Yup.
Okay. So there must be.
I mean, there has to.
Okay. That's very interesting. Oh, wait. Yes. Glen Powell. He was in Top Gun Maverick. Yes.
Okay. Yes. And I did know that, because she has a nickname for him, and she calls him Top Gun. Oh, creative.
They do look a little.
Dude, it's a bit much. I would be actually livid. Okay.
I always wonder this, if you're an actor, actress, whatever, and you're spending, because you have to imagine, maybe a TV show is different, but when you're in a movie together and you're spending how many months, just the two of you, and you're pretending to be in love.
Yeah, I don't blame them if they catch feelings.
I'm not even saying I don't blame them or I do blame them. I just can't even relate to it, but I feel like you're in close proximity. Everyone in Hollywood is attractive. You're around the same age. And then it's like you're kissing and like acting. But like we were talking about this with what's his face? Elvis,
Austin.
blah blah blah. Austin.
Butler?
Yeah, Butler. It's like people start to believe
That they're really
people start to
together.
believe that like they are the character that they're portraying when you get like so deep into it. So you're playing these two people in this movie where like they're madly in love, or like it's a rom-com or whatever. It's like I feel like a lot of them just fall in love with like the person that they are pretending
to be in love with.
In the movie. And I think that's a lot of times why maybe sometimes the couples don't ultimately end up working out, because they get into the real world and it's like, oh, I'm not in love with Glen. Like I'm in love with the person that Glen is acting or pretending to be in this movie. Like I just feel like it must be such like a mental, just like weird situation. I can't imagine like putting my brain through that.
I just don't
mentally.
think monogamy is real in Hollywood. I just feel like everyone's in the same boat, and I don't know. I just don't understand how relationships last.
It doesn't make sense.
They're with their cast more than they are their real friends and family.
Yeah, and like you're literally like, I understand like traveling a lot for work, but you're kissing someone, you're like pretending to be in love with someone, like in order to like make
You fake it until
look
you make
real.
it.
Like when you watch The Outer Banks, like you watch the first season, like you can just tell that they're actually in love with each other, because they're like
Were
they're
they
like
in real
acting.
life?
Yeah, they end up dating.
Who?
Like John B and Sarah Cameron,
Oh.
or whatever. Yeah, like they literally start dating in real life, but you can just see them like actually falling in love while you're watching the show, and it's like you have to like, you're faking it, but eventually it must be just so hard for it to not to become real, but also if it doesn't become real, then people can usually tell that then people will be like, oh, the actors had no chemistry, like there was no chemistry, there's no chemistry. So then it's like for there to be real chemistry, like and then they have like the guy who plays Christian Grey in 50 Shades of Grey, like he's married. Like I just can't.
Yeah, and over my dead body.
Imagine that. And like they're like, it's acting. I'm like, no, it's not. I don't know. Maybe I just don't have what it takes. Clearly,
No, we
but
don't.
like that is just to me so far away from like a normal relationship. I almost like don't really blame them for being kind of like messed up and having relationship issues. But anyways,
I'm curious to see how things turn out with Sydney and Jonathan.